Let's continue the conversation with Matt Schlapp, the chairman of the American Conservative Union, one-time political director for President George W. Bush. Matt, thanks for staying here with us. And let's return to a topic that you raised just before the break. You talked about the possibilities of action that could be taken. Mitch McConnell, in his floor statement yesterday, anticipating the president's action last night, said we're going to wait for new people to get here in January. Given what Ted Cruz described about this president engaged in unlawful and unconstitutional actions, shouldn't Republicans in the House and Senate try to do something, even in this lame duck session, to register their disdain and take action against this?
It's a great question, JD, and I think you know that they're all very upset about this. There are those who are just very upset about it because of the constitutional question, and then there are those who combo that with the fact that they know the politics of this are all bad for the Republicans. The downside is, you've been through these battles, the downside is, with a Democratic Senate, up until the new Senate is sworn in, there's very little they can do besides pass something out of the House, either a censure or a limitation of funds for those agencies that would enforce this executive order. Harry Reid will strip that out immediately as soon as it goes to the Senate, and obviously the president's not going to sign those things. So you get to an impasse very quickly. But I think you're right. I think at least the House has to stand up on its hind legs and say no. It's the House that has a conservative majority, and it ought to do that. But we just have to understand that as Republicans, we do respect the Constitution. And the Constitution allows for Harry Reid to strip it out and the president to veto it, and that's very unfortunate.
But there should be some action taken. Steve King of Iowa suggested the notion of a censure. A bill brought forth. Obviously, it's not binding, but it's not impeachment, but it would have the House go on record as very concerned and holding the president responsible. So even though it might be symbolic or cosmetic, it's still important to get done.
Well, let me give you another idea, and you know this. We ought to be doing some we ought to have an aggressive, Henry Waxman-like, but conservative, oversight and investigation on every single way in which this decision was made, including any impact the new Attorney General decision has on this. What is the new Attorney General going to do if she's confirmed when it comes to this executive order? We ought to get all of this gummed up as quickly as we can. It's Congress's job to do that. And that could be the most effective thing that comes out of this. We have to stop the ability for Obama to implement some of these wacky ideas that he has in his last 2 years.
So you're saying get back to congressional oversight. The Constitution provides for it. The committees, that's obviously the regular order there. Let's return to something you have said in reaction to the president's speech. Some conservative websites, in fact, the website conservative.org, quotes you as saying that this president is showing, quote, utter contempt for the American voter. Utter contempt would indicate that is something that should be held in such revulsion that there does need to be some sort of reaction here.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, President Bush, I served in the first term of President George W. Bush, but he took what he called a shellacking in 2006. And, I think it's humbling. And you say the voters have sent a message. What is so strange to me is that this shellacking is a double shellacking compared to the 06 shellacking, and it seems like the president is going to do just the exact opposite, which is to say, yeah, some people voted on Tuesday, but a lot of people didn't vote, and people still think I'm pretty cool, and I'm going to do what I want. And to me, that is just completely repugnant. I mean, I have very strong political views. You have very strong political views. You go to the ballot box, you see how you do. Sometimes you lose, and you ought to listen to what the voters are telling you. And what the voters were saying was very clearly to Barack Obama, we've had enough. Stop. And what did he do? He turned around and he doubled down.
And because he has doubled down about 15 seconds, what does this portend for the next 2 years?
Well, in that statement that you read, the Democratic nominee in 2016, be it Hillary Clinton or whoever else, is now in the center of the bullseye. This is all going to be about Barack Obama in 2016, and that Democratic nominee is stuck to him. I think that is great for our side.
Well, as we know, one campaign gives way to another, and certainly 2016 is ahead. Matt Schlapp, promise us you'll come back, not wait till the campaign in 2016. Come back and visit with us real soon, okay?
It's a deal, sir.
Thank you. Matt Schlapp of the American Conservative Union.